Hello everyone and welcome to Sarah Talks. My name is Njeri Mwathi. Sarah Talks is an initiative of Emerging Leaders Foundation Africa where we harness the power of storytelling and open dialogue to immerse young people in policy conversations. In our Excellence in Public Service series, we are hearing from a host of public sector experts on what it means to serve meaningfully in public service and what it takes to excel. So we are thrilled today to host a lady who has a decades-long experience in the public sector. She has many titles and roles. She's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, a board member, a Pan-African Youth and Women Champion, a Chevening Scholar and Oxford University alum. She currently serves as the Chief of Staff to the Office of the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya. And at ELF, we are also so proud that she is a member of the Peace Health Steering Committee. We have today with us Ms. Rose Wachuka, and we are so excited. Welcome, Rose.
Thank you. I'm excited as well to be home. This is home for me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We have been looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah.
And glad that you have been interacting with the Peace Health Fellows here and there.
Yeah.
As someone who champions young people and women in leadership, we really want to hear your story. Perhaps you can even start with, how do you get to Chief of Staff of the Office of the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court? What does it take to get there?
Wow. Yeah. It takes guts, confidence, a love for my country, a love for the law and the rule of law, and incredible respect and honor to the bearer of the Office of Chief Justice, because the Chief of Staff position is a very personal role to the office holder.
Right.
You cannot do it if you don't respect the person who holding the office.
Right.
And you cannot do it if you don't have a passion for the industry that you're serving in.
Right.
It's a position that requires penetration and understanding of the breadth of the organization you're serving in. But you've asked me the question, how do you get to this position?
Right.
Where do I start? Where do you want me to start?
Tell us what the milestones have been like for you when you first joined the public service. It's been over 10 years now.
Yes, it has.
Your roles when you first joined in and what it was like to move up the ranks.
So let me start from the patriotic part. And growing up knowing that we are truly, truly blessed to have a country that is a regional leader in diplomacy, in trade, in tourism, in the rule of law, in access to justice. And feeling incredibly grateful to be a member of the legal fraternity in this country.
Right.
And getting to the year 2010 and witnessing the change of constitution.
Right.
From the Independence Constitution with all its amendments running up to 1997, and finally the referendum that gives us the Constitution of Kenya 2010, very progressive. I think at that point, for law students at that time, it was just this magnificent document that allowed us to exercise the breadth of our practice. In 2005, I was in first year at Moi University, and that's when we had the first referendum. And you know, you're fresh in law school, and you have this national moment, and you get thinking. And at that point, I got thinking about what would our country look like if we embraced this document and lived its true intent and purpose. Yes. And I think at that very nascent time, I went to law school with the intent of fighting corruption because I had watched the Goldenberg scandal.
Right.
I had watched the proceedings and the inquiry, and I could tell that being a lawyer in Kenya would be extremely important for the public sector and public sector governance.
Right.
And then the opportunity of the Constitution in 2005 was just an incredible, piece of national identity as,
Yes.
as a Kenyan.
Yes.
So that's where my passion in the public service started.
Right.
This constitution and bringing it to life and being a member of, you know, a legal community that supported it to find anchorage and meaning and operation in the country. And when I started practicing law in 2011, I was called to the bar. I was always very excited about public interest litigation. And those are the cases I focused on. I also got very engrossed and interested in cases of technology and you know, aspects of digital rights and ownership. But public interest litigation for me was the stuff that, you know, kept me awake at night.
Yes.
But as I've said before, I started to feel like, you know, when you're an advocate, you take instructions from a client.
Right.
And at that time, in private practice, you run with the instructions you get.
Receive, yes.
And I can tell you from those early cases, I won cases against the Constitution. And it used to break my heart. Because why am I winning cases against the Constitution? And I started thinking about, where would I be placed never to win a case against the Constitution, but to strengthen it and embolden it and give it, you know, just some life. And of course, as a young advocate, you know, you'd have to wait 10 years to become a judge, 15 years to become a judge of appeal or Supreme Court, or even longer than that to be, you know, a point of Chief Justice. And therefore, I started to look at opportunities in the judiciary. And at that time, the judiciary was looking for research personnel. And I applied to be a legal researcher in the judiciary and went through the recruitment process and found myself posted to the Supreme Court.
This was just when the Supreme Court was being established.
This was you know, 2012, the Supreme Court is, you know, fresh. It's new.
Brand new.
It's a new institution.
Yes.
It has, you know, hopes and dreams. It's the apex court.
Yes.
It has the responsibility to settle jurisprudence, to determine what is a matter of public interest or public importance.
Yes.
What is our indigenous way of interpreting a constitution, you know, indigenous jurisprudence?
Yes.
What is the import of advisory opinions? And how do you determine a presidential election petition? What are the parameters? It was an exciting time. And I'm so grateful that I got to experience the Constitution in that way from the Supreme Court, because there you defend the Constitution.
Right.
And I worked with judges to support that research. And then I, you know, thought that I needed to understand policy a little more, because infused into the Constitution are policy issues.
Yes.
And I wanted to build capacity to work across the three arms of government. And to work in the executive, I thought that I needed solid public policy experience and expertise to be able to breathe value. I mean, I had the law for the judiciary. I needed public policy for the executive. And so in 2015, having served 3 years at the Supreme Court, I won a Chevening Scholarship and an NDI, National Democratic Institute Scholarship, to study at the Blavatnik School of Government at the University of Oxford. And there, you know, just spent a year of exceptional public policy insight and education. And when my year in the UK was up, I started thinking about coming back. But I wanted to come back to a new challenge, a different challenge. And just as I was thinking about it, I got an invitation from the Minister of Foreign Affairs at the time, Ambassador Dr. Amina Mohammed, to consider taking up a role in her office when I got back. And I was still at Oxford, and I started to think about it. And when I got back, a week after I had come back, Minister Amina Mohammed called me. It was on a Saturday, and said, you know, Rose, are you back? I said, yes, I'm back. I was leaving for a friend's wedding, so I was all dressed up, and I'm not sure that Kangede has forgiven me. If you're watching this, please, I didn't miss the wedding on purpose. But CS said, are you available? I'm like, okay, yes, I'm back.
Yeah.
She said, could you come back? Could you come down to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
Okay.
Saturday, 10 a.m. I said, okay, yeah, I'm coming. So I, got out of my wedding clothes and went down to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And she was there with the chef de cabinet, her chief of staff at the time, Ambassador Jambi Kinyungu, who served in New York as the deputy ambassador there. And, Minister Mohammed said she had received approval from the head of state to present her candidature to be chair, a person of the African Union Commission.
Right.
And we had 48 hours to turn in a bio, a statement of the candidature, the vision, all in English, French, Portuguese, Arabic, the AU languages.
Yes.
Actually, it was less than 48 hours because it was Saturday midday, and we needed to have sent in the document by Monday morning. Okay. So it was
very intense.
And so I said, okay, great. Where can I sit?
So you got there and it was a yes.
Yeah, like there was no time for introduction even. I said, okay, great. I mean, I don't have a contract or what. It just didn't cross my mind. I'm like, okay, here is an opportunity.
Here's a challenge you're looking for.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I sat in her office and started to write stuff. And Jerry, what you might not know is that, I mean, I've been an activist from a very young age. And in the lead up to that part of my career, I had, served with the Global Young Greens to just advocate for social justice, democracy, and all these issues across Africa and globally.
Right.
So I had a very, very good grasp of African policy, African issues. And so, I started to have conversations with Ambassador Amina, and I was able to understand her vision for the African Union Commission and the African Union generally. And, we worked day and night. And, by Monday morning, everything was ready. And that's how I started working at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in what was an amazing time.
Right.
Just understanding the regards of diplomacy and getting to understand what it means. And I did this process in reverse, where I'm like, okay, great, I'm here, let's start working.
Right.
And then the minister then writing to the Public Service Commission to say, can we consider this person to join these other credentials and stuff? But the work doesn't stop. It doesn't wait for you. Right. And so that's been a mantra of mine. I know sometimes we just want to wait and say, hey, I'm not going to touch that assignment. It's too difficult. We don't have clear pathways. If you're not doing anything that compromises your integrity, just do it. Get going, and the things will catch up with you. And that's how I started working with Ambassador Amina Mohammed.
So I don't know if we can pause here, and I like how your story is already painting to us the value of when preparation meets opportunity. And that is what just makes a difference.